WOCA.
Ocala.
All right, 5 minutes after 9 o'clock, it is time for Veterans News. Remember, today's Veterans News is a full hour long, and it is a call-in show, so this is an opportunity for you to have some questions answered. Your host today is Dr. Jose Torres. He's with the VA clinic here in Ocala, and I'll toss it to Gary. Gary, I think I'll toss it to you, and then you can toss it to Dr. Torres. Gary Pascal, sitting in Hank Whittier's seat. Good morning again, everybody. I'm sorry. I misdirected it in the beginning. Good morning, Gary.
Good morning, Larry. Good morning, veterans, and good morning, listeners. We got a great show for you this morning, and Dr. Torres, as usual, has got a lot of good information for you, and he's got a guest with him that's going to do a great presentation today, as always. But unfortunately, before we get to that, we do have some fire casualties, and we have a couple of police casualties. So we'll go ahead and start with that. We have Lieutenant Dennis DeVoe of the Harrisburg Bureau of Fire in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Lieutenant DeVoe was killed on March the 11th. And we have also with the Fire Administration, we have Captain Iron Bill Dowling of the Houston Fire Department in Houston, Texas, and his date of death was March the 7th. And we also have, unfortunately, 2 law enforcement officers killed in line of duty. We have Deputy Sheriff Curtis Allen Bartlett of the Carroll County Sheriff's Office in Carroll County, Virginia. His end of watch was Thursday, March the 9th. And we have Police Officer Houston James Largo of the Navajo Division of Public Safety, Tribal Police, and his end of watch was Sunday, March the 12th. Our thoughts and our prayers go out to the families of these firefighters and law enforcement officers. Larry?
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
Amen. Well, you know, we couldn't be on the air without the great support of WOCA Radio here, who lets us on every Thursday. God bless them. And the fine folks at Bob Wine's Camellia Garden and Nursery. They have been bringing us veterans news, and when it comes to your landscaping, Bob Wines has what you need. Everything from small plants, large trees, mulch, fertilizer, and much more. Bob Wines will deliver it. They'll plant the trees they deliver, and they will guarantee them. Bob Wines Camellia Garden and Nursery has been keeping things blooming in Ocala since 1952, and that's a long time. If you want to go down there in person, they're at 2610 Southeast 38th Street in our own beautiful Ocala, and you can contact them by phone at area code 352-629-5766. I got just a few announcements this morning, and then I'm going to turn things over to Dr. Torres, who's got a great show lined up for you. First of all, I just want to remind everybody that March 25th, which is on a Saturday, I believe that's a Saturday, isn't it, Larry?
I think so. Yeah.
At 11 a.m. At the Ocala, Marion County Veterans Memorial Park, and that's our park, folks, located at 2601 Southeast Fort King Street. They're going to have a welcome home for not only the Vietnam Veterans Day, but for all veterans. So if you're a veteran or if you're somebody that loves veterans, come out to the park that day. Again, that's 11 a.m. on March 25th, and looking forward to seeing everybody. And also, I want to remind everybody that we know the Southeastern Pro Rodeo is coming. This is the 24th annual Southeastern Pro Rodeo here in Ocala. And Friday night is going to be Salute the Troops. And they're going to be doing a 50-50 drawing, and Vets Helping Vets is going to benefit by that. So not only come to the rodeo, but buy lots and lots of tickets. I'm going to Staples today, and I'm going to get rolls and rolls of them. So, let's buy lots of tickets. And moving along with good news, the grand opening of our Veterans Resource Center will be on May 12th at 10 a.m. So, we'll be looking forward to seeing you all there. And that's going to be located at 2730 East Silver Springs Boulevard. So, again, looking forward to seeing you on May 12th. And I just want to let you know that on Monday, Hank went to Tallahassee. And he got to meet with the governor and a lot of the people up there from the legislation, and they are very happy about the opening of the Veterans Resource Center. Not only is this going to be a one-of-a-kind in the state, but this is the first of its kind in the country. So a lot of people are going to be looking for us. We're looking forward to doing great things for a great population of veterans here in Marion County. So again, on May 12th, put that on your calendar, 10 a.m. And also I want to, as a male veteran or as a veteran, I just want to thank all my sister female veterans because Dr. Torres reminded me this is Women's Veterans Week, and you got something special going on at the clinic from 9 to 11, Dr. Torres?
Yes, Gary. We have like a recognition to women's veterans in the clinic between 9 a.m. till 11 o'clock this morning.
Well, go ahead and check that out if you can. We need to support the role of women's veterans in our defense has become vital. They make up a good percentage now of the population. About 15% of the military is women. So God bless them, and they're doing a great job. And also, I just want to remind you of one quick thing. If you want to see some of them photos of Hank and the things that went on in Tallahassee, check out our website. And there's other things on our website, too. Do it, kind of frequently. You can always catch us on Facebook, we're Marion Vets Helping Vets on Facebook. But if you want to go on our actual website, it's www.mcveteranshelpingveterans.org. Again, that's www.mcveteranshelpingveterans.org. Okay, and with that, I'm going to turn it over to you and your guest, Dr. Torres, and it's all yours.
Well, good morning. Good morning, Ocala. We're going to talk today about chronic pain and management. And we have today Dr. Renny Edelson from Chiropractor USA.
Yes, thank you. Thanks for inviting me here today.
So we're going to start describing what's pain and what means chronic pain. And according to the WebMD, about 100 million Americans suffer from chronic pain, and that is defined as a pain longer than 6 months, which can be mild or excruciating with episodic or continuous, mild inconvenient or totally incapacitating. Chronic pain, signals of pain remain active in the neurological system or nervous system for months or even years. This can take both a physical and emotional toll in a person. Most common sources of pain stem from headaches, joint pains, from injuries, back aches. Other type of pain include tendinitis, sinus pain, carpal tunnel syndrome, pain affecting specific part of the body such as shoulders, pelvis, and neck. Generalized muscle or nerve pain can also develop into chronic condition. This secondary to other conditions like diabetes or vasculitis.
Okay, I didn't mean to stop you mid-sentence. We're up to the break, and just wanted to let you know that. So we'll take that break right now. We'll be right back. We'll continue. By the way, if you have any questions during the course of this, you are invited to call in. The number is 622-9622. We will be right back.
The weather was brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Sunshine today, but chilly. The high 59 at the coast to 64 inland. And clear to partly cloudy skies Thursday night and chilly. Lows in the mid and upper 30s in a few inland spots to 45 on the coast. For Friday, sunny and pleasant with a high of 67 to 73. Saturday will be sunny and warmer, high 75 to 79. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
The best garden deals of the spring just got better at Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens in Ocala. Check out the Truckload Rose Sale. Starting with double red knockouts at just $15.99. But that's just the beginning. You can still load up on azaleas, especially those ever-blooming dwarf red ruffles. They're flying out the door because they're just $3.99 each for 1 or 100. How about a super buy on geraniums? They're red, white, salmon, pink, lavender, regular $4.99. You get 10 for just $19.99. And say if you're being hassled by that dreaded dollar weed, pick up Bob Wine's best dollar weed killer at a super low price right now at Bob Wine's. Go to bobwinescamelliagardens.net, then hurry on over to Bob Wine's, Southeast 38th Street, Ocala. Daily till 4:30, Saturdays till 2. Locally grown, family owned, in the same blooming location since 1952.
Tired of looking at stained carpets, dirty tile, or grout? Call Silverback Restoration, 414-5312. Make your flooring look great again. Stains, pet odors, allergies. Call Silverback Restoration, 414-5312. From serving our country to serving our community. Silverback Restoration, 414-5312. Residential and commercial. Their work is guaranteed along with your satisfaction. Check their website, silverbackrestoration.com.
Sunrise Automotive, this is Matt.
Hey, Matt, it's Dan.
Hey, Dan.
Listen, we're going to be doing some traveling, and I need to make sure the car is in good shape.
Why don't you just bring it on by? Let us check it out. We can check all your belts, your hoses, your tires, all your fluids. In out of town, is that up north in the cold?
Yep.
Okay. Let's check your antifreeze. Also, let's make sure your washer fluid has got alcohol in it so it doesn't freeze up north, because that makes for a rotten day. And let's check your air pressure in your tires. Let's look at your brakes, make sure everything is safe and secure there. Let's go through it and just make sure everything is ready to go on the road. You due for an oil change?
Yep.
Whenever you come in to get your oil change, we always check your belts, your hoses, all your lights. We go through and make sure that everything is working properly. We check all your fluid levels. We do that every time you come in to Sunrise Automotive.
So just call you back at this number?
Yeah, just give me a call back at 690-1993 whenever you're ready to come in. And you can drop it off, leave it with us, whatever's most convenient for you. Look forward to seeing you at Sunrise Automotive.
18 minutes after 9 o'clock, beautiful Thursday morning, 40 degrees here at the studios, broadcasting live from the Paddock Mall. We are at the beginning of the Veterans News. And remember, today, Veterans News is a full hour long, which means we've got a good 42 minutes left in the show. Plenty of time for you to get some great information from Dr. Jose Torres. And if you have any questions, feel free to call in. The number is 622-9622. Now back to Dr. Jose Torres. Doctor?
Good morning. Continuing describing about the chronic pain. Chronic pain may originate with an initial trauma, injury, or infection. There may be an ongoing cause of pain. Some people suffer chronic pain in the absence of any past injury or evidence of body damage. The emotional toll of chronic pain also can make pain worse. Anxiety, stress, depression, anger, and fatigue interact in a complex ways with chronic pain and may decrease the body production of natural painkillers. Moreover, such negative feelings may increase the level of substances that amplify sensation of pain, causing a vicious cycle of pain for the person. Even the body's most basic defenses may be compromised. There is a considerable evidence of that unrelated pain can suppress the immune system. Symptoms of chronic pain include mild to severe pain that does not go away, pain that may be described as shooting, burning, aching, or electrical, feeling of discomfort, soreness, tightness, or stiffness. Pain is not a symptom that exists alone. Other problems associated with pain include fatigue, sleeplessness, withdrawal from activity, and increased need to rest, weakness, changes in mood, including hopelessness, fear, depression, irritability, anxiety, and stress. We provide pain management through the VA. Initially, according to the CDC guidelines, the pain management should be started with a non-controlled substances and therapy. Now, the VA is opening a big door to alternative medicine to treat chronic pain, which include acupuncture, include chiropractor services, massage therapy, physical therapy, occupational therapy. In the clinic, we have patients that are treated with controlled substances. For that, you need to discuss with your primary care provider the agreement, sign an agreement, what is involved, which is lab workup, test, and implications if you violate the agreement that is established according to the CDC guidelines. Today, we're going to talk to an alternative medicine provider, which is a big help for us and our patients treating pain and different type of pain, which is Dr. Renny Edelson. Welcome this morning.
Thank you.
So we would like to know, Dr. Edelson, what is chiropractic medicine? What do you do as a chiropractor?
Well, for those that aren't medical doctors that are out there listening, I think it's best to first start understanding a couple of basic things. One is that the brain and the nervous system are the master controlling system of the body. It's the first system to form upon conception at the very beginning of every single one of us. When the sperm and the egg came together, the very first thing to form was the brain. And so just like germinating a seed, the root comes down, and off the hairs of those roots grew your organs. And we see these billboards all over town. We're not going to get into the politics of, by 18 days, but I think most people know there's a heartbeat. I think if logically you just looked at that and said, well, you have to have a heart before you have a heartbeat. So in a week and a half, at the end of the nerve, on the bottom of your neck, for example, formed your heart. And at the end of another nerve, your eye, and your spleen, and all the organs in your system, and of course the muscles. So I kind of backtrack just a bit, Doc, because people don't really understand the central nervous system like you and I may. And understanding that the central nervous system, the brain specifically, communicates down the main cable which runs through your spine. It's the only system that's actually protected in bone. And it controls the function of all of the systems in the body. In fact, without the nerve system, we would not have function. So looking at function, looking at malfunction is the primary focus of a chiropractor. The chiropractor's job to locate those areas where there may be dysfunction. Of course, logically, people won't touch the front doorknob of any chiropractic office unless they have pain. And I know I speak to the choir for those listeners on this station, and the fine people in Ocala and everyone on on this planet, for the most part, can finish this statement. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? So if there's no symptoms, there's no problem. So pain is a big issue. Like you said, 100 million people having pain. Naturally, there's I think 100. I don't even know what the cost is. The latest research is showing somewhere in the neighborhood of $100 billion is spent on trying to alleviate these conditions.
Can you talk to us briefly about your background?
I went to University of Florida. I am love the Gators, and hope that doesn't offend anyone locally. I grew up in New York, but have been living in Florida for 42 years. I'm continuing my education at the University of Bridgeport, Texas Chiropractic College. I'm on the board of Life College in Atlanta, Georgia, for those that are familiar with those colleges. I have a diplomat of the Board of Chiropractic, and I'm currently working on a fellowship, which there's only 35 people that I know of that are actually accomplishing this. Of course, I'll graduate when I'm 60, and I'm looking forward to that. But a fellowship's pretty cool. I'm actually working extremely close with a neuroradiologist who helped to develop MRI. And a world-renowned neurosurgeon, brain surgeon, Dr. Shaddy, who works out of Stony Brook, Long Island. And so I travel a lot and study a lot outside of the box. For the most part, my education continues on and on and on. It just never really stops. That's a little bit of the educational background, Doc.
Good. Which medical conditions you treat in your practice?
Well, earlier in my career, I was the former chiropractor for the Miami Dolphins and for the Florida Panther hockey players down in South Florida. And so my practice was primarily focused on sports-related injuries. And then, of course, anybody that's injured, I think the most common knowledge is auto accidents. But, auto accidents not the only injury. Sports injuries, repeated occupational injuries, injuries that happen for veterans, when they're abroad and they're out there and they're sleeping in bad conditions and they're under really harsh conditions all day long. It creates all kinds of problems inside the body. So we treat people that have body signals. I like to kind of say that as opposed to symptoms, because symptoms typically are something we want to extinguish, right?
Yes.
And I think that's where we're headed in the topic of our conversation. But body signals aren't always bad, are they? Body signals can come from stomach problems. Reflux. They can come from, blood sugar issues and pancreas disorders. They come from just the normal common ones like neck and back pain and headaches, tics, and behavioral disorders, sleep disorders. The list just goes on and on and on. Gastrointestinal issues, probably the most common. I know that a lot of people say, "Really, I didn't know that." But one of the most common things that happen with postural deviation when the head draws forward against the force of gravity is the added pressure between the shoulder blades, where those nerves actually go to the stomach and the gastrointestinal system, starts shutting down. And so you see malfunction, and malfunction over time, it leads to much more serious conditions that will drive us to find doctors like yourself in the VA and primary care physicians to try to seek out some sort of answers for their problems.
So basically we treat different type of like neuropathic pain. Let's say diabetic patient with diabetic neuropathy. Is he a candidate as well for adjustments and seen in your practice?
Yes, and we have a variety of ways that we would analyze, diagnose, use certain diagnostic equipment to make sure that they would benefit from going to a chiropractor, and or that they should maybe see another allied professional. Maybe it's not a chiropractic case, and that typically is day one. Day one is all about the diagnosis, evaluation, and management of that case properly. Yes, and people come in, they haven't an idea whether or not we're going to be able to help them or not, but usually they're taking a chance.
All right.
Yes, doctors, thank you. The phone lines are open, by the way, if you have any questions. We are up against the break, so let's take that bottom of the hour break. Today, just to remind you, is a full hour on Veterans News, which means we have a half hour left. So a great opportunity to ask questions, especially about chiropractic care today. And we'll be right back. The number, if you do want to call in, is 622-9622, and we'll be right back.
Fox Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. The White House releasing the president's proposed budget.
White House Budget Director Mick Mulvaney says it's an America First budget.
We're spending more money to defend the country, more money to enforce the laws, more money to secure the borders.
The plan boosts spending for school choice programs and makes deep cuts at the State Department and the Environmental Protection Agency. It also proposes eliminating funding for the Corporation for Public Broadcasting.
Fox Radio's Rachel Sutherland, parts of Paris on lockdown after a letter bomb explosion at the office of the International Monetary Fund.
I've just gotten some comments from IMF Chief Christine Lagarde. She is calling the explosion, quote, a cowardly act of violence.
Cheryl Cazzoni with the Fox Business Network. There's also been a shooting at a high school in the south of France. And first-time jobless claims last week dipping to 241,000. Fox News. We report. You decide.
Napa know-how.
Right now, Napa's offering free mechanics wear gloves by mail with the purchase of 5 quarts of Valvoline motor oil starting at $3.59 a quart. Well, you've got hands and a car. Coincidence? We think not. Free mechanics wear gloves by mail with the purchase of 5 or more quarts of Valvoline starting at $3.59 a quart. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
General states pricing. Sales prices do not include applicable state, local taxes, or recycling fees. Offer expires 3/31/17.
Heavy rain this morning causing backed up traffic all the way to
Please remove all laptops and
Folks, we're number 9 on the list for takeoff, so settle in, keep those seatbelts fastened.
What fries with that?
Welcome to Westin. Travel can be disruptive to your well-being. That's why at Westin Hotels and Resorts, we have rejuvenating heavenly beds, a nutritious superfoods RX menu, and a workout gear lending program to help you stay in control and rise above it all. Westin, let's rise.
What you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
Instagram is also good for real estate because it's searchable. So you can search for a hashtag like a city name or even a certain neighborhood and find a listing you may not have seen otherwise. Rooms with candlelight and soft music help people eat about 120 fewer calories per meal compared to eating somewhere bright and loud. Would you like to be more likable and considered great leadership material? Just use your hand gestures wisely.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Hey Ocala, this is Kelly Hart, Executive Editor of Ocala Magazine. Did you know last year Ocala Magazine won more awards in excellence than any other publication in Florida? And this year, Ocala Magazine was named Best Consumer Magazine in the state. Now you can join me every Friday at 10 a.m. on Ocala Magazine Radio, where we bring the pages of Ocala Magazine to life, right here on The Source. Ocala Magazine thanks you for making us number 1. And remember, there is only one Ocala Magazine.
Hi, I'm Leah Caruso with Strive Rehabilitation, inviting you to tune in to the first and third Thursday of the month at 11 a.m. to learn about the latest advances in healthcare available right here at home. Ocala Regional Medical Center and Strive have teamed up to bring the most qualified medical professionals on the air to answer your questions and bring information to help you in your decisions concerning your health. Again, that's the first and third Thursday. Health matters.
All right, 27 minutes before 10 o'clock. Beautiful Thursday morning, 41 degrees here at the studios at the Paddock Mall, and we are halfway through the full-hour veterans program that we are doing today. Dr. Jose Torres is here, and we are talking about chiropractic care. So if you have a question, the number to call is 622-9622. Dr. Torres?
Good morning again. Good morning, Dr. Edelson. Thank you for being here with us today.
Thanks. I'm honored.
So patients with like subluxations, disc degenerative disease, pinched nerve, spine deviations, can they see you in the practice?
Yes, most of the people that come into the office have some degree, some level of osteoarthritis or some degenerative condition. And, again, most of these questions require a little bit more of an explanation. And I know that there's probably people on the phone calls. It looks like people are calling in.
You do have a phone call. Let's take that call. Thank you. Good morning. Oh, yeah, you'll have to put your headset on. I'm sorry. Can you hear me, first of all? If you can hear me, doctors, then you'll be able to hear the caller. Good morning. You're on the air. Thank you for calling.
Yes, thank you for taking my call. I suffer from moderate joint pain, knee, elbow, and shoulder, And what I've been doing, like on television, the commercial, take one leave and you're probably gone for 12 hours, and it seems to work. I'm just wondering if I'm disguising the real problem. Am I going to be doing some damage to my body by not really seeking out what the real problem is by just taking these pills that hide the pain?
Well, usually what your primary care will do is the primary care should request x-rays to evaluate the area that is affected and see if there is a physical or anatomical issue. For treatment, we start in primary care with medication-wise, and we refer patients to see the radiologist for interventional medicine, which is, it could be injections in the area with steroids or gel. Dr. Edelson, is there a way that we can help this?
Yeah, I mean, first you have to locate the causation of the pain and wear and tear. Again, osteoarthritis, we were having this discussion outside of on the air, that osteoarthritis is something that usually happens from repeated injuries, long history of some ligament issues. Ligaments don't heal on their own, so when you have these type of problems with the joints and then you have repeated wear and tear, you're going to see some hyaline cartilage damage, you're going to see some joint damage. And again, we're talking about the kind of arthritis that's not systemic, Doc, right? We're talking about the kind of arthritis that is called osteoarthritis or OA. You'll hear it referenced in a lot of different ways. I've been taking care of athletes for so long. Been practiced for 31 years. So I take care of knees and elbows and wrists and shoulders and elbows, and people are like, oh my God, I've been walking around with this problem for such a long time. What the goal there is to is it to eradicate the pain? It's a good listener that you called in here, and I appreciate you calling in because it's a great question. So many people have that question. We're looking to improve function. You're looking to improve range of motion, flexibility, and decrease inflammation. There's multiple ways of doing that. Certainly stretching and exercises, schoolyard exercises, and getting back into that. Pain intervention, we don't have to live like a caveman or woman anymore, So, I'm not asking, for anybody that walks in to just, never take a leave or anything like that. And I'm really, my expertise is to improve the functionality of those joints, and if you, in doing so, and the muscles and tissues that are surrounding that, getting back to the nerve system is paramount, because the nerves is what creates function to the muscles, and the muscles what make the joints action work. I hope that answers your question a little bit.
Yeah. Can I ask real quick, does Medicare pay for the chiropractic treatments?
Yes, it does. I think things have changed a lot with the last president trying to help to save Medicare, or whatever you want to look at, how you want to look at that. But what they did was they stopped paying for what they call palliative or maintenance care. So those who have been around long enough to know, hey, well, I have Medicare, and Medicare pays those 12 visits every year, and I like to go for those 12 visits. It just doesn't work that way anymore. Now, you can go ahead and utilize some visits with usual, reasonable, and customariness, and medical necessity has to be proved because of functional loss. So if you're going to a chiropractor or any doctor that is not doing proper diagnostic techniques, is not utilizing upper level or even medium level diagnostic tools such as X-ray, then digital range of motion, different things like that, and actually going through an examination, you can't prove functional loss, and Medicare will not pay for that.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for calling in today.
All right, if I could just slip in the phone number. If anybody else wants to call, you are invited to do that. The number is 622-9622. If you're out of the area, by the way, the area code is 352. So it's 352-622-9622. And Dr. Edelson is the guest of Dr. Jose Torres today. Thank you, Doctor.
You're welcome. Dr. Edelson, then what studies you do in your practice to diagnose or make a determination of what treatment the patient is going to go through with you?
My credentials are extensive in the analysis, functional analysis of injuries that people get from sports-related injuries or auto accidents and just trauma-related injuries as a whole. With that type of a background, when you look at somebody, we have several different ways. I'm going to just mention maybe 4 that give us just a tremendous amount of information and helps me to put together the story of that human being that's sitting in front of me. And I love that because I teach all of the doctors that work in my offices and elsewhere that I mentor to do the same thing. One is, we have such great technology today. We have digital photography, taking pictures. They have programs out there that literally measure how far off deviated the spine is from a normal perfect posture. That information is very handy as a snapshot of them when they first come in, because if you're showing progress, you want to be able to see improvement of that. Yes or yes, right? Second is how much additional load is on the brainstem and spinal cord. This is a critical information because when the head weighs as much as a bowling ball, so it's carrying forward and a little bit to the side and gravity's pushing down towards Earth, you're adding pounds, tons, literally 40, 50, 60 pounds of additional force on top of the brainstem and spinal cord. And people don't get that, because if the pain is there in the neck or the spine, it makes sense. But if the pain is not there or the pain is extinguished, as the caller was saying, I'm afraid of just taking those pills, just covering it up. You wouldn't know where the causation of that is coming from. Of course, digital range of motion. There isn't a finer way of evaluating. And there shouldn't be any other way. You can't literally tell someone to turn their head to the left and to the right and bend over and find out what kind of range of motion someone has. You have to use the good diagnostic equipment, and of course, a good expensive digital X-ray system is going to allow us the opportunity not only to take great pictures with minimal exposure, but also do outrageous overlays on there, so we can literally show how far off the mark here is in a hard measurement way. This way, the practice member, the potential practice member, a patient that walks through my door, I'm literally not telling them what they have, but I'm showing them what they have. And when someone sees the problem and agrees on the problem, the second part of that is agreeing on the goal. Because really, after all, it's not about my goal. My goal is to go ahead and to keep rehabbing somebody to the furthest, place that I can probably bring them. But it's time and money related, is it not? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, great question. Thank you.
So you basically base your diagnostics in combination of radiological and electrical, like an EMG base.
Yes, and I failed to mention that too. Thank you, Doc. We use surface electromyography in the office because the computers today allow us the opportunity very accurately of determining how much pressure in microvolts that there is on the nervous system, and it actually going away. If the need is there for upper level testing, such as a needle EMG or an MRI or some other, I'm referring out to the radiologist or the imaging center or the other doctors that I work with as a team.
Good. Any postural analysis that we do when you are, you verify the posture of the patient, if there's some kind of deviation with the posture or...
Yeah, it's all posture related. Posture is the window into the nerve system after all. So evaluating the additional forces and where the range of motion loss is, then, it's imperative.
All right, we are up against the break, and we will be right back. Once again, I would like to invite you as listeners to call in. Dr. Renny Edelson is here today, talk about chiropractic care, and of course, Dr. Jose Torres is here from the VA clinic here in Ocala. You can call in. You don't have to be a veteran, by the way, if you have a question about any of these topics. The number is 622-9622. This is Veterans News. We got another 15 minutes, and we'll be right back in about 2, so you have about 13 minutes if you want to call in. I encourage you to call early. Sometimes the question has a longer answer than yes or no. We'll be right back with Dr. Torres and Dr. Edelson. We'll be right back.
The weather was brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Sunshine today, but chilly. The high 59 at the coast to 64 inland. And clear to partly cloudy skies Thursday night and chilly. Lows in the mid and upper 30s in a few inland spots to 45 on the coast. For Friday, sunny and pleasant with a high of 67 to 73. Saturday will be sunny and warmer, high 75 to 79. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Robin, how do you like my design?
You're designing a box?
That's not a box. It's a doghouse.
Rough draft for your rough? Sounds like you need personal service.
I do?
Yes, to print the blueprints. See Mark at the Personal Service Center. He can print blueprints, notarize permit applications, print and mail out invoices, and even provide great-looking business cards.
Personal Service Center. That's the one on the corner of Northeast 25th Avenue and 24th Street, right?
Just look for the yellow signs. Your pedigree palace will be a reality in no time.
WOCA gets results.
Hi, this is Leah Caruso with Strive Physical Therapy Centers. One of the things that Strive does is we try to track how people learn about us and what they hear in the community about us. So that's one of our questions. And a lot of times they said they've heard us on the radio or they heard something on the radio that really touched them or a member of their family. WOCA has been extremely helpful in Strive's goals to educate the community.
WOCA gets results.
That was the sound of a tree falling. It could be your tree. You're going to have it trimmed, but never got around to calling Pride Tree Service. It could have fallen in a field, and now all you have to do is call Pride Tree Service, and they'll have it quickly out of the way for a great price. But don't wait until the tree falls. It may not fall in the field. It may hit your car, your house, or worse. So call Pride Tree Service today and avoid all those headaches before they happen. Pride Tree Service, 572-2510. That's 572-2510.
Whether you're just starting out in your career or ready to make a change, being a commercial pilot is within your reach. The FAA has predicted that in the next few years, the number of planes in the sky will double, and that means a lot more jobs in aviation. Ocala Aviation has teamed up with an accredited university, enabling you to get a college degree in aviation while training to be a commercial pilot. And with options like financial aid, grants, and scholarships, it's never been a better time to get your new career in aviation started today. For more information, call me at Ocala Aviation, 352-861-7484.
All right, just about 12 and a half minutes left in the program. We invite you to call in. The number is 622-9622. This is Veterans News, by the way. Dr. Jose Torres is here from the VA clinic, and Dr. Torres' guest is Dr. Renny Edelson. Gentlemen, I'll throw it back to you.
Thank you. So, Dr. Edelson, how frequent a patient need to see you in the office?
Well, I think it's condition-based, and there's young people that come in that have scoliosis that would require, a little bit longer treatment. But I think the thing that's important to start with is understanding that my recommendations are always going to be, in my expert opinion, on the biomechanical issues that are in that spine, what they actually need, with a great degree of medical experience and excellence in my field, it's going to take to rehab that spine. But everyone starts at the beginning. Everyone starts on seat one, and in if the problem area is a condition that chiropractic adjustments and care can rehabilitate and help, and demonstrably, show the results before and after. Is it reasonable to invest a little bit of time, 2.5 months, of a little bit of time to invest the time and the energy to actually get that thing better? And so, it's a great question. It's an open-ended question, answer that I can give you, because there really is no specific. Once people get to the place where they've cleaned up the mess and they're taught what they could be doing at home to continue that so that they're not tied into us, that's important. It's reasonable. People want to come in every once in a while for a checkup and an adjustment for that thing that they don't want in their spine anymore, And so that's what, if my practice was only filled with people that came in for maintenance care, I'd be the happiest chiropractor on the planet. But But at the very beginning, there's that whole tug of war of time and money and energy that, the patient has to make the decision for themselves. Is their health enough of a priority to invest a little bit of time in there the right way? And if it's done the right way and they don't feel like they're being taken also, because there's a lot of fads out there. There's a lot of things out there that are just kind of temporary relief, and very expensive. I give them an alternate choice.
So now you mentioned an adjustment. What is an adjustment? What is that? What that means? What you do when you mention that you proceed and do adjustments?
Well, the procedure that chiropractors use to remove the unwanted interference and pressure on the nerve system is called an adjustment. It's not a manipulation. Manipulation is a non-specific mobilization of joint areas to free up fixation. An adjustment is a specific realignment with a very predictable outcome. So with the adjustment, done usually by hand, sometimes by instruments, it really depends upon the general condition and age, of the person that is underneath that's on your table. There's other things that should be done. Physical therapy modalities. I love to work closely with physical therapists. I love to work closely with a lot of different people. In my office, I have very specific physical therapy modalities that we use to bring about a very predictable result. Traction, stretching out certain ligaments, getting people just to get back to schoolyard stretching exercises, which we forget about. And recess was a long time ago. So.
Doctor, you have a texted in question, if I could read it to you. The question is, can chiropractic care help improve lower body function on someone with partial paralysis due to a stroke?
The answer is yes, but I think it's a case-by-case it has to be evaluated on a case-by-case basis, because how long was that done? How much atrophy is there? How much demyelinization maybe in the neurological system? All those things need to be evaluated. The answer to the question is there isn't a specific answer, but I will tell you I've had tremendous experience, and chiropractors all over the world have had tremendous experience by removing causation by increasing the neurological output that goes down to the extremities or the peripheral nerve system.
Okay, and now we have another phone call coming in. While they're getting the headset on, just a reminder, if you want to call in, the number is 622-9622. Good morning. Thank you for calling. You're on the air.
Yes, doctors. This is Hugh Gygax calling again for a quick. I got a quick question. As an aging adult, like myself and everybody, we go to our regular doctors once a year for our checkup and our blood work and everything else to make sure things are in line. Would you recommend going to a chiropractic physician once a year to have that kind of a checkup to maybe help a problem that would be coming down the line?
Well, usually those referrals are not as an yearly basis for regular checkups. The chiropractor services or chiropractor medicine is just to address specific issues in a specific moment. As a primary care physician, we handle or we go over the analysis and evaluation of what's going on and what is the root, what's the problem, and then the primary care provider will determine if the patient need or not to see a chiropractor. The patient can request to see the chiropractor, yes. The primary care provider should explain to the patient if the patient is or not a candidate to see a chiropractor, or guide the patient on the best way with the best alternative for the issue that is concerned about.
Would you always need a referral to see a chiropractor, doctor?
Say that again?
Would you always need a referral to see a chiropractor, doctor?
No, I'm licensed as a primary spine specialist. I'm licensed as a primary care provider. the primary portal of entry into spine as well. But when Dr. Torres says that, it's important to understand a couple of things. One is, if you're going to the medical doctor to be evaluated, on a regular basis or an annual checkup, as you were asking, that was the original question, then, you're looking at all systems, and if the doctor finds that, based on your symptomatology and you have his findings, that you could benefit by going for an evaluation management, session at a chiropractor, then you're going to get a referral. If you're coming into my office, typically, you're going to come in with a condition. I mean, people to come in on an annual basis for just a checkup, you just don't normally see that, because, the talk is going to be, let's find something. But I will say this is kind of just, layman's term. If you're having a heart attack, don't come to the chiropractor for an annual checkup. Go to the experts, go to the medical doctor, go to the ones who know how to save your life in that capacity. If you're interested in wellness and you have some problems that aren't answered, or you're sick and tired of taking the medication for those conditions and realizing that when the meds wear off, you still have the condition, by all means, come in and get an evaluation done and find out if there's some causation there.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. And by the way, we've got like 3 minutes left, just so you know, okay?
So for chronic pain management, like I mentioned earlier, we have several alternatives, and there is a national initiative to decrease the use of long-term opioids and people that is in opioids, just to help them to look for other alternatives for pain management. And like I mentioned earlier, we have acupuncture, we have massage therapy, physical therapy, occupational therapy, and chiropractic medicine as one of the chronic pain management resources. The reason why as a medical doctors and this national initiative started is the high incidence of dependency of medications, and also with that comes suicide risk, comes the use and combination of certain medications related to mental health issues that can be fatal, use of long-term opioids in elderly patients that can trigger or affect the breathing system in the brain and cause sudden death. Also, many other causes that comes with as a complication of the use of narcotics. So Dr. Edelson, where you're located at? I think the listeners would like to know about where you are located and your phone number, and if they can come and visit your office, if they can be seen there.
Yes, and again, if it's not local, then just get into a chiropractor. That's what I want to say. Find yourself a good one. I don't know how far this signal reaches and the listeners are, but I work primarily out of the office on Airport Road on 60th Avenue behind Jasmine Plaza. It's called Jasmine South. I also own an office called Chiropractic USA down in the Villages. It's next to Bonefish Grill, across from the charter schools there. And of course, my main facility is down in Fort Lauderdale, and it's still operating. And I mentor the doctors that are in those offices. They're the best of the best doctors. They're doctors that I go to see for myself, and I certainly would highly recommend. But I'm there day in and day out there in Ocala on the west side of town. Off of 60th Avenue.
So I'm going to leave the listeners with a message. It's just chronic pain is manageable. Talk to your primary care provider. Look for alternatives, either medication-wise or alternative medicine. This can be treated. And thank you for the program today, Gary, Larry.
Well, thank you, Dr. Torres, and for Hank Whittier and Marion County Veterans Helping Veterans. God bless America.
God bless America.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.